Hey guys, how's it going? Today's video is about seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, I'm not gonna pretend like this happens all the time in life because I feel like most of the time in life you're supposed to be in the tunnel without seeing the light just to keep it pushing. But there will be very rare times where the universe, God, whatever source you believe in, will allow you to see the light at the end. Just a sneak peek, like it'll give you a flash, it'll give you an experience, it'll show you something. You feel me? You'll hear something that will like signify the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, a lot of the times it's not hard to pick up on it. Like you can kind of tell when it happens. However, the issue is it can be very subtle and um it only really happens after a certain amount of like trials and tribulations. So, but to get started on the topic, we have to remind ourselves that when you're working towards something, when you have a goal that you're you know actively pursuing, a lot of the times what's going to happen is that you're going to have to go through a set of challenges to show your persistence, to show how much you want it, like your dedication. And as I mentioned in my previous video, the discipline is the only thing that's gonna really like be able to show for it. Um, but the discipline is gonna kind of like how do I explain this? When you're disciplined, a lot of the times it feels like a very slow up climb, right? But when it comes to like something brand new that you're just starting, in general, it's gonna feel like a slight decline because you're gonna take some L's. You're gonna feel like you're not making progress. It's just gonna feel almost useless. It's not until it feels useless and you feel actually like kind of stupid for doing what you're doing and continuing to do it that you will get what the universe or what God or what any source is intending for you coming from your goal. Let me rephrase that, right? So after a set amount of challenges, losses, difficulties, out of nowhere, once it seems like you would have lost hope, or once what you're doing becomes delusional enough that it doesn't really make sense for you to be doing it and you still continue to do it, once you get to that point, is when you receive the first bit of what it is you're looking for. And it's weird and it's paradoxical because one would expect like, okay, why does it have to be this way? you know and a lot of entrepreneurs will literally tell you the same thing. They'll tell you like you really got to work on something until it makes absolutely no sense, until it's literally like deteriorating yourself for it to start working for you. Like there's no way around it. And I think this mainly happens because you know the world needs things, and usually when somebody has an idea and they want to act and create it, the world needs whatever that idea is, or else you wouldn't have had that idea. But the world also needs somebody strong enough to carry that idea out, and not everybody's strong enough to carry that idea out. So people are gonna doubt. People are gonna say things. You're gonna take losses. You know, you might get sick. Anything could happen to try to slow you down. But once you break this certain threshold, I don't know how to explain it. We're gonna call it like the mental we're going to call it the mental force field. Once you break that mental force field of like the challenge that you're going through, you just get this like sudden spike of like it's like a click, and all of a sudden things make more sense, and all the work that you put in and all the losses that you put in suddenly become valueless compared to what you now see in the possibilities of what you can do. Um, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna try to give you guys an example. Back to my first business, right? A lot of these things I went through in my first business. This is where I learned most of these things. Now I've done multiple now, and I've experienced this lately. But my first business is always the best example. It's just like the most pure way that I was able to learn these things, right? I was my first business was like a trading educational program, and I worked on it for like 2 to 3 months. Like I was just grinding at it, making the websites, trying to like soft launch it on the social medias, telling people about it, trying to hire um a co-founder with me, and creating just everything. I was trying to set up everything. I was trying to set up systems. I was trying to plan how it was gonna go, practice myself, how I was gonna lead and like be there for the people and teach them. And I did this for a long time while I was working as a bus boy at a buffet, right? And I remember that like all my money from the buffet would go straight into it, just like blindly. It got to a point where people were like, "Bro, what are you doing? Like, you're actually like, what are you doing for real?" And I ended up quitting the job just to give myself more time to work on that. And like with the amount of money that I had made from the job, I told myself like this is gonna have to be enough because I need the time to work on it, but I also can't keep continue working. Quit my job, and then I remember like suddenly the launch date was supposed to be my birthday, February 1st, and right before my birthday, literally right before my birthday, well, actually on my birthday, I got shot 3 times. I got shot here, here, and right here in my arm. Funny enough, right? And I still have the bullets. All of them are still in me because the doctors couldn't take them out. I was in the hospital for like a week or two. In the hospital, I told my parents to bring me my computer when I woke up 2 days later from the amnesia and all the drugs, right? Because they have to give me all these drugs because it was horrible, right? I told them to bring me my computer. And in the hospital, I continued to work on the business. It was the only thing I was doing. It was the only thing that I cared about. Because, and to be honest with you, I didn't even care about anything. I didn't care about the business. I didn't care about the people around me. Like my mind was shut. I was traumatized. But I had already built the consistency of just working on it every single day, that when I woke up, the only thing that my mind knew was, oh, well, the only thing that I'm doing is working on my business, might as well continue. I got on my computer and I continued working on it. I started posting even more about it from the hospital. And when I got out of the hospital, and I'm going to tell you guys a little secret, I was not qualified or experienced enough to lead people in trading the stock market or anything. But when I got out of the hospital, the first day, my dad was like, "Hey, here's some money so you can start trading." I don't know. I didn't even ask, and I was like, "Okay, thank you. I'll take it." And I put it into my live account. When I started trading with these guys, all of a sudden, for the next 3 weeks, I was winning, winning, winning in a row. I turned the $1,000 into $3,000. Well, that's not the right way to put it. I made $30,000 from that money that my dad gave me the first month. Second month, I made a little bit extra. I traveled to New York. I bought a whole bunch of stuff. I got myself a Mercedes, which I always wanted. All these things happened out of the blue. It did not make sense. It did not make sense. There was nothing different about me. I just stayed so consistent that there was no choice but for the world to bless me for what I was looking for and give me what I needed, the missing pieces, which was to lead the people to make the good trades. And all I would do is make good trades. And my business started to flourish. I had over 50 people who were paying me to trade with me. And the best part is everybody was making money. It got to a point where I started gaining recognition around my whole state. And there was another guy who had his own business as well, doing the same exact thing. And like I had people from his business and from his program coming to mine because people just liked mine. They liked the energy. Like it became a community, like a really strong community. Now, that business over time, it fell and I rode the ship all the way down. It was my first business, and although I built it, I wasn't ready to handle that type of money and that type of responsibility. Um, and that's okay. I was 20 and I learned so much from it. I learned so much from it. But it was just one of the it was just one of the best experiences in my life was building it seeing it flourish and seeing it collapse. It was like a whole life cycle. Um, but the way that this ties to the main point is like for the first 3 months before any of that, I was just like a headless chicken running around trying to make like whip this business up and make it happen and to the point where people thought I was delusional, and it didn't make sense. And I just kept losing money on it, spending more money on it, looking more stupid online, all for something that I was risking because I didn't even know I wasn't even that much of a good trader back in the day. I just wanted to teach people the basics. I wasn't even that much of a good trader. So like I was kind of just putting myself and risking everything and my time, wasting my time, risking everything, my money on a bet that I had worse odds of winning than losing. It wasn't even a 50-50 bet. It was a bet on like it was like betting on black when black is only like 10% versus red that is 90%. Like I was playing a losing card, like a losing hand. I was literally playing a losing hand. And I ended up winning and getting everything that I wanted for that business to happen. It's just crazy. It's really just crazy. Um, but yeah, I think that the best way that I use this to my advantage is when I'm working on something, when I'm working towards something, I kind of tell myself like it's not real until it starts turning like delusional. Like until it's delusional and it doesn't make sense and I'm losing my mind, that's when I know something's actually about to happen. But if I don't get to that point, then I know I'm not working hard enough. Like you actually got to be delusional. You actually have to be delusional, and you actually have to like just have like no hope at some point that it's gonna work, and just kind of keep going regardless for no reason. That's when you get it. That's when you get it, and then you realize it was in your face the whole time. You realize it was just in your face the whole time. With that being said, for anybody who seeks advice with their business, with their career, with anything, my Instagram is Emmanuel.lvx, Emmanuel with two M's.lvx. I love to do one-on-ones, help people out. And then there's more details about me in the bio. But I hope you guys have a good one and stay posted.